Definitely Timmy. Timmy was like that one because he had a style that nobody else had. He used to overlay tracks and just do so many mashups while live, and no other DJ was doing that. He would literally loop a song and just run another song over for like 4 minutes, and it's like nobody else was doing that. So when I heard him do that, I was like, I need to start doing that in my set.
Today is Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. Who are we speaking of? Speaking
Ju-
with.
Justin, also known as Just the DJ. I'm so glad to be speaking to you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. I love your brand name, Just a DJ. Tell us about its origin.
Wow, okay, so that's really interesting because my name is Justin. So what I did was I took Just, which is my nickname, and I took it and became Just the DJ. I actually didn't come up with the idea. My dad had texted me one day. I didn't know what to do with my name. Like I was just like stumped kind of like. And then my dad texted me one day. He just said Just the DJ. And that was the whole text. Like there was nothing else to the text. And I was like, yeah, that's it. I was like, that's the one. And ever since then, I've just been riding with the name. That was 5 years ago. So it's a beautiful name. I can't like knock it at all. The creativity is perfect. So,
Is bulletproof. What
mhm.
does house mean to you?
To me, it is creativity. I always say when I produce or when I play music, I always want to be different than everybody else. I feel like a lot of people are copy and paste, and I don't really like that copy and paste kind of thing. I feel like there's too much music out there for everybody to be playing the same songs. So I always say, creativity is house music for me. And it's one of the genres where when you get booked, you can kind of play whatever you want at parties. Hip hop parties, if you go there, you have to play the top 100 songs. So that's why I really rock with house music, and that's what I stuck with. It's in my heart for real.
I love that. What's your earliest memory of house music and how did it make you feel?
Ooh, okay. This is a good question. So my earliest memory is with my mom. During quarantine, we used to listen to a DJ called DJ Little Man, who was huge in the tri-state area. I think he moved to Atlanta recently. But he was huge in the tri-state area. He used to stream on Facebook. And during quarantine, when we all could just needed something to do, some music to listen to, and kind of just feel kind of active because everybody was just sitting around in the house, had nothing to do. And my mom would put him on the speaker and she would literally blast it at full volume and she would put up a mirror in the living room and me and her would just dance in the living room together inside the mirror and it was just like I just almost felt like free, like it was something I never felt before. And he wasn't even going like playing deep house, he was just playing like the club classics that we all know and love, and it was just something I never felt before, and that's kind of what jump started my whole career because that feeling is something that I always wanted to chase, and I just kept wanting to like explore into that because I didn't get that out of the music that I was currently listening to at the time. So once I once my mom stopped listening to him eventually because he had to stop because things started opening back up, I went on my own time and I started listening to house music on YouTube. And from YouTube, it was just like I was listening to Timmy Regisford and the Louis Vega mixes that are out there. And then I was talking to my grandma about it because she's a huge, huge, huge house head and she's been a house head for so many years now. So when I was talking to her about the things I was listening to, she was like, "Wow, I kind of like the same music." And then she had texted me one day and she was like, "Maybe you should think about DJing," because I was only listening to DJs. Like I wasn't listening to any like individual singles or songs or anything like that. It was literally just DJs. So I guess it was something about the way DJs put the music together that I kind of fell in love with. But that's when my grandma was like, "Yeah, you should start DJing." And from there, it's the rest is history.
No, thank you. Incredible story. So it sounds like your family is deep into house music. What clubs did they go to back in the day, your grandma and your mom and all that? Did they talk to you about that?
The crazy thing is that they actually don't really, but I know my mom is more of like a hip hop head. She likes house music because a lot of people like house music, but don't like really dive into it the way I have, which kind of sucks, but what happens. My grandma talked about going to like Club Shelter. I remember her just talking about going there, and that's why she loves Timmy so much. Timmy's one of her favorite DJs, one of my favorite DJs. Till this day, he's still rocking. Like he comes to Jersey, I want to say maybe about like 5 times a year. I try to catch him during every gig he plays out here, but of course, some things come up. But he always rocks, and it's just amazing to see the way he puts his music together and mashups he has, and just oh my God, it's insane. Like it's crazy. So, but yeah, definitely Club Shelter would be the one that I would say my grandma enjoyed the most.
Let's go back to your early influences and beginnings.
Mhm.
Tell us the story of the moment you decided I want to be a DJ.
Okay. So, like I was saying earlier, I was on YouTube a lot. I was looking at house music festivals, the house DJs, Timmy Louie, and my grandma, I was talking with her and she was like, get into DJing. And that was literally it. Like from there, I started virtual DJ was the first software I had, which is basically like a virtual way of DJing. Like you had everything was on a computer, it was on a software. And it was kind of weird doing it that way, but I kind of started making mixes and recording myself, and I was sending it to DJ Beloved, who is one of the people that actually mentored me, and one of the first people that mentored me actually, because I had quite a few mentors. But Beloved was the first person to listen to my mix, and he was just like, he was like, this is interesting because it's my first mix, so of course it's not gonna be like perfect. But he was just told me to keep working at it, and he said that for it to be my first mix, it actually wasn't that bad. So that he said I had the ear because the songs I chose to blend were like in sync and they like were good. They worked good together. But they just weren't blended properly because I didn't have like hardware in front of me to actually beat match and do that whole, that whole process. But, for a first mix, he said it wasn't bad. And from there, that kind of was my motivation to keep going.
Mm, Tell us about your first ever DJ set. What went right and what went wrong?
Okay, so my first DJ set was actually thrown by DJ OneSpin, who is a local DJ in the area. He's an open format guy. And he threw an event with the three young cats in Jersey. It was me, DJ Josh, and DJ Nasir, which is his son. And this was a place in Kenilworth where he kind of just through the event and he had us sell tickets. So we was going out hustling, selling tickets because we get half of every ticket. Yeah, we're driving around, posting it, everything. But we get to the place and he didn't want to put us in the order because he didn't want us to be like competing or have like a hierarchy with each other. So we kind of just sat around the table and we was like, where do you each of you guys think you should play? And none of us wanted the same slot. So that just worked out perfectly. I ended up playing last and I was on a controller that only used Serato at the time, but I'm a record box guy, so it was kind of weird. The only main difference for me was the effects, but it was still just not the same. But I make it work. And I get on last and I'm just hammering them, just straight up hammering them. Every song is just a banger. And for me now, that isn't the way I like to play because I think it makes the crowd tired. It's just too when it's too much like just bangers like that, like it just causes them to not to lose interest. Like the song doesn't have that much like power anymore because all the songs are like that, if that makes sense. So the crowd kind of got tired like halfway through, but at the end of the set, I ended up playing some classics and kind of slowing them down because I saw that they were kind of getting tired. And all in all, it was a pretty good set for a first set. Like I'm not mad at it at all. Like I wouldn't go back and change anything if I could, to be honest. So yeah.
Who were the first DJs you studied or tried to imitate, and what drew you to them?
Okay. So for me, definitely Timmy. Timmy was like that one because he had a style that nobody else had. He used to overlay tracks and just do so many mashups while live, and no other DJ was doing that. He would literally loop a song and just run another song over for like 4 minutes, and it's like nobody else was doing that. So when I heard him do that, I was like, I need to start doing that in my set. And I would do sets where the whole set was basically me just overlaying songs the whole entire time. And I
Good
don't,
question. How exactly do you do that? For those that don't know, like explain people how that's done, like on the setup.
so basically, you would just loop a song that you like that has like that powerful, like punchy kind of loop, and you would just bring that in. You would run another song over it that kind of has powerful vocals that a lot of people may know, like a sing along maybe, and then you would bring that sing along in, and then you just run that sing along over that beat, and then yeah, and it just causes like that, like almost like a live remix that nobody else has or nobody else has ever heard, and it's just it can be done good, and when it is done right, like it's like beautiful. But at the time, I wasn't quite doing it right, I don't think. And I kind of steered away from that now because it's just Louis. I'm not Louis. It's Timmy style. Like I just nobody else could do it like Timmy does it. So
Cool. What's the first house tracks you ever you ever mixed, and why did you pick that one?
Ooh, okay. So definitely a lot of the Jersey classics. Little Girl. Um, oh wow, I'm blanking on so many song names right now. Oh my God. Wow, Kose. Just literally all the Jersey classics because that's what I grew up hearing and listening to. Like I said, my mom would listen to DJ Little Man, and he was playing all of these Jersey house tracks basically. Think Twice. It's just so many songs. Oh my God. But those songs is literally what I started playing with. I would literally rip them off of YouTube and I would plug them into my virtual DJ and I would just be running them. And ripping off of YouTube, I do not suggest anybody do it now. But I think we all have been there. I actually went to one of my first gigs and I played music that was ripped from YouTube. And then they yelled at me because the sound system was all off because of my music. And it was like, yeah, you got to stop doing that. So the whole set I had to play songs that were sent to me from Mark Francis at the time. And it wasn't like a whole lot of music, but I just couldn't be yelled at for the sound system anymore. Like I didn't like that. So, but yeah, definitely a few of those tracks have influenced me. And yeah,
How did watching YouTube videos and Twitch sets influence your sound?
interesting. Okay, so Jihad, when I think of Twitch, I always think of Jihad. I watched him every Saturday. Like every Saturday from 12 to 6, and then which weekend. Like I know the time, everything.
Yeah,
But
me
I was
too. During the pandemic, I was heavy. That was
yes,
heavy rotation. Heavy
it's
rotation. They were on fire. On
no,
fire.
literally. Jihad, Patrick Wilson, Elements, Nina Soul, Mark Francis, he would do guest sets. I would listen to everybody. And for me, Jihad has such like a unique style. He would play soulful, but he would also have a way to like amp it up, and it gives that kind of like bump to it. And it's just like I don't know how he did it, man. It's crazy. His blends are so smooth. I had a phase where I kind of like copied him a lot too, as well. Um, but I think that's good when you are first learning to copy a few people because if that's what you're like, then obviously if you copy them and mix a few people's styles together, then that's how you start to create your own style. It's kind of like you're a mixing pot of your favorite DJs. So yeah, I always hate to say this, but I'm happy for the pandemic because it's kind of what got me into DJing and got me able to practice and have free time so I can actually hone in on my craft. Um, yeah, it's lot of good music came out of the pandemic. Absolutely.
How would you describe your sound today, and how has it evolved?
Mm. So currently, I would think I'm in like an Afro soul kind of era. I play a lot of just like a lot of Afro, a lot of Afro, and a lot of the soulful tracks that everybody just knows and loves. The oh, I'm blanking on his name right now. Kerry Chandler. I love Kerry Chandler. Like he's insane. Kerry Chandler, Louis Vega, like those are like my go-to soulful house tracks. Um, and I'll play just literally all the Afro that's popping. Shemza, Black Coffee. A lot of the tracks they play, I always take into my set and a lot of tracks that I find on my own, just looking on track source and just keeping up co-flow. Just there's just so many like there's so many producers out there. It's so like, oh my God. I just love searching for new music. It kind of is what separate me from the rest of the people. Being able to go underground and find your own tracks that nobody else is playing yet. And then when you bring that out and the room full of DJs are all asking what song is that, it's like the best feeling in the world. Like it's amazing.
You're known for playing mature tracks. What draws you to vintage or classic house?
Okay, so Louis is actually one of my favorite DJs, and we all know Louis is from back in the day. He's been doing this for so many years now. David Morales as well is from back in the day. And I've listened to them, and I'm able to learn tracks from them and watching how the crowd reacts to certain tracks that they play. And I'm like, maybe I should look into that because at the end of the day, I'm playing for the same crowds as these DJs. Like I'm playing for the older house heads. I don't have that younger crowd. So I have to observe what the older heads like, and a lot of times the classics do have to make their rounds in my sets. I'm trying to get away from it just so I can push like new music because I'm all about just new music. Like there's too much music out there to still be listening to music from 50 years ago. You get what I'm saying? So um that's like a big thing for me. It's like we need to get away from it. But I still do play it because the crowd likes it. At the end of the day, I am a DJ. I have to read the crowd. If the crowd looks like they want some classics, then I got to do it. So this is how it works.
In the words of Kendrick, somebody got to do it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Have you ever had to defend your style or music choice to older DJs?
Actually, surprisingly not. Like I think a lot of people would think that I get like a lot of hate from the older heads, but it seems like they kind of be rocking with me. Like they kind of took me under their wing. Like I had no problems, but I kind of had to really defend myself. There's been like a few instances where older heads will compare the younger DJs and kind of say which one is better and which is their favorite, and that caused like an uproar at one point on Facebook. But it hasn't been nothing like directly like somebody actually directly coming to me like, "Oh, you suck," or "I don't like your music," or this and that. Actually, no, this just happened recently. Literally, just like I think like 2 days ago. Doc Martin has shared a video of me and Amir playing with each other, and somebody had commented on it, and they literally just said trash, and I was just like, "Dang, like that's it." But I didn't even like reply. Like I don't reply to a lot of negativity I see anymore. It's just like it is what it is. Like it don't affect things. So
Haters are gonna hate, and if they're commenting, that means that they're clocking you. So you're doing it right. Yeah.
right, they're watching.
Um. Yeah, they're watching you. How do you balance staying current while honoring the roots of house?
Mm. So for me, I don't really like this is gonna sound crazy, but I don't focus too much on the roots of house. Like I know the origins, I know the roots of house, but everything must evolve. And I think that that is something that isn't highlighted enough because a lot of older heads are like, oh, well, you can't do this or you can't play on vinyl or songs used to be 14 minutes long. You gotta let the whole song play. And it's like, well, times have kind of changed. Attention spans have gotten shorter. We all know that. And even with that, I still let a lot of my music rock for probably just about the full time. But the roots of house is kind of changing. It's just not the same anymore. Like it's kind of going towards that Afro techno-y kind of vibe, I would say, personally. Of course, there are some DJs who push the boundaries and are able to be huge and still stay true to the roots of house, but I think that the vast majority of house music is kind of moving away from the roots of house, personally.
Thank you for that. I want to
Mm,
shift and start talking about performing and milestones. Take us
okay.
back to the first time you played to a crowd of over 100 people. What went through your mind?
Okay, over 100 people. I'm trying to think of what that first gig might have been. Okay, I think that might have been Weekway Park. I want to say Weekway Park. I think I played after Millie Mills and before Rock Anthony, I want to say. This is some time ago. I'm trying to think. I just remember them being on stage while I was playing. We all have a picture together. But basically, Weekway Park is just like a huge festival that we have over here, and it was my first time being booked for something like to this degree, like a festival. Like these festivals attract like tens of thousands of people. So in my head, I'm just so nervous. And like I think like the whole week leading up to that gig, I was just looking at all my music, sorting music, putting in playlists and just doing a lot. Like I don't think I needed to do all that looking back on it. But it did kind of result in a great set. I can't lie. I don't think I had anything bad to say about that set. I played just about everything. And I think I had like an hour and 15 minutes, I want to say, but I played just about everything. I covered a lot of music in an hour and 15 minutes. Old, new, like classics, Afro, soulful. And I think that's what it's all about when you play festivals is being able to cater to everybody out there because there's a lot of different niches in house music. And when they come to festivals, it's just a lot of people out there who all like different things. And so you kind of have to be able to play it all.
Describe a moment when you lost the floor, and then how did you recover?
Mm. Okay, so this is actually, I want to say my first gig at Taj Lounge I had played. I was booked with Ab. And like I said at the time, I was doing a lot of Timmy overlays and just every song, the whole set was just overlays. And it was just like it was a rough time for me. But I think I needed to go through that to understand how to overlay in the future and just not to bite off somebody's style entirely because not everybody can replicate what somebody else does, right? So I want to say it was a 2 hour set. I had played the first hour. First hour, I kind of had the crowd. Once again, a lot of overlays literally throughout the whole set. By the second hour, I basically lost everybody. Like it was really nobody there no more, and I wasn't even able to recover because I have this bad habit of being too scared to look at the floor at times. Um, and I was kind of stuck in my way, like I'm gonna make the crowd like this instead of playing to the crowd. And I think that was just not the way to handle that gig. And I learned in the future though, like it never happened again after that gig. Like I went home and I had so much reflecting to do because I'm like, where did everybody go? Like it was probably maybe about like 100 something people in there, and it's just by the end of my gig, by the end of my set, it was like maybe like 5 people in there. So that was rough. It was really humbling.
What was the most unexpected or surreal gig so far?
Okay. Wow. I got a few. Okay, I'm gonna say when I got to close my first festival. I got to close in Plainfield. Um, this event brings in like 13,000 people, I believe it had that year, and to be able to close that event is just insane. Like I looked out in the crowd and it was just nothing but just people, and I was just like, wow, like this is crazy. I played after Terry Hunter. He was just going, and Terry Hunter was hard to play after, but he left like a nice, like down tempo classic kind of ending to his set because at the time he was posting on Instagram to stop like all the 125 BPM DJs. Like he was saying, not everybody needs to come on and play 125 BPM. Like these festivals are 10 hours long, and every DJ is coming up and just playing 125 BPM, and it's like there's really no need for all that. Like you got to be able to build the day up and then drop the day off. So when I came on, I picked up where he left off. I had played some classics in the beginning of my set, and then I got into basically my style. And that was just insane. Like I had people come up to me after the gig, and they were just saying that was like one of the best sets they ever heard. They couldn't stop dancing, and it was amazing. Like the vibe out there was surreal. Like I don't know, like that was really a good event. I still post about it to this day on my Instagram page. Like I don't think nothing beat that yet. I got a chance to play with Louis Vega. We did a back-to-back set. This was at Mr. East in Linden, New Jersey. I believe it's Linden. It might be Roselle. But Anane was originally booked for that gig, but she was feeling sick. So Louis was like, all right, I'll go in. And at the time, me and Louis knew each other from Twitch. So when he came in, it was like, I don't know if it was our first time meeting, but it was one of the, like our more newer part of the relationship. But he came in, he was like, "Yo, Just, what's up? What's up?" And then came on after me, and then he was like, "Yo," I said, "I'm gonna call you back up here in 45 minutes. We're gonna do a tag team to end the night off." And I was just like, "Whoa!" And then I was like, "That sounds good to me. Like, I'm not complaining." And that was just like amazing. Like the tag team was just beautiful. Like we just flowed like so perfectly. It was just amazing. And that's another thing about Louis. He's so versatile that I feel like he could literally do a tag team with anybody and just make it just sound like amazing. So credit to Louis. I'm really proud of Louis. Like Louis already knows. Um, but yeah, I think those are like my two gigs that really did it for me, where I was like, dang, this is insane. Yeah.
Let's transition and talk about mentorship and support. So, who were the first people to believe in you as a serious DJ?
Okay, so definitely Beloved gets the first shout out for that. Um, like I said, Beloved is one of my dad's best friends. So already, like you already know, once I get into DJ, of course I'm going to go to DJ Beloved. I sent him my first gigs. He heard me from the very beginning. He heard the really rough transitions. Um, I would go over his house every week. He would have me go over and play on CDJs and kind of mentor me and teach me how to maneuver my way through CDJs and how to beat match and what not to do. And so that kind of is really what got me like solidified in DJing. His few techniques that he had taught me, because there was a lot of things that I just wasn't aware of at the time. Like a lot of things DJs do, but they're not able to teach it. And I think Beloved was good at being able to teach me those things. And then Mark Francis was a huge mentor for me. He heard about me, I'm assuming through Beloved. Um, I went into one of his Instagram lives and he saw my name. He was like, "Oh, Just, what's up?" And then, like I said, he had sent me that music. That was actually from that Instagram live. He had saw me. He's like, "I got some music to send you. Text me your email." And I was like, "Oh, okay, this is different." Like I never got music sent to me. That's my first time. So that was just like a big like Like I was like, wow, I'm actually kind of building my name a little bit. But a Jihad Muhammad, another mentor, he's the one that actually kind of got me into the style I'm at now. Um, Before him, I would always just try to play bangers and just hammer the crowd out the whole entire night. He had texted me and he was like, "Bro, you don't got to do all that. Like, you could literally just create a vibe. It's always more so about creating a vibe than going there and just playing the best and biggest, most banging songs." And that's kind of what got me into the style I'm at now. I go in there and I basically just create a vibe because that is really what's going to get people dancing all night. If you go in there and just play bangers, they're just gonna be dancing because it's bangers. But when you're able to create that vibe, it's just something different. And I've been hearing a lot of people say that recently about my sets. They were like, it's just something different, like in your sets when you play. And I think it's due to me being able to create that vibe that Jihad was so like heavy on me about.
What's well, that you kind of answered the question. It's like, what's the best advice you receive from a more experienced DJ? So,
Yeah, definitely.
um, what do you wish more young DJs knew about entering the house music scene?
Mm, okay, this is interesting because I feel like a lot of house music DJs, they come into the scene just kind of blind, right? And I think it's okay for them to come in like that, but I think they do need to learn the roots, but also know how to evolve from the roots. I think a lot of DJs that come into this, they are mentored by older people because, like I said, they're blind, and the older people always tell them, "Hey, you need to be able to play violin, you need to do this, you need to do that." And I don't think they're really innovating or creating anything new because of the way they're being mentored. And that's not really their fault though, but it's just like some things that I've noticed, I think. And even myself, like when I first started, like I still am just kind of like going along with the trend rather than being my own self. And I still kind of am doing that because I feel like there's going to take time to build where I want people to go and to see my vision. Like you have to, yeah, you just got to travel with me. Like we're moving. But that's definitely the thing for me is just being almost like a cookie cutter DJ because of what the older heads have taught us. So.
And what does support from your family mean to you, especially in this journey?
It's huge. My support is amazing, literally amazing. They go to just about every gig with me. We go in like four or five of us. Like it's crazy. My brother, my mom, my grandmas, my aunties, my dad, like we're all just everywhere together, almost like a pack. Like you don't see one of us without seeing all of us, right? So literally at the Louis event, like Louis had texted me and he was like, I saw your whole family was there. Like I really like I love that. I love to see that. He's like, make sure you thank them for doing that for you. And I was like, maybe I really do have a good support system. Like sometimes I take things for granted, but I see a lot of other DJs and they're traveling alone, and it's like I don't think I'm ever gonna be traveling alone. Like my family just they're just like they love me too much. So it's hard to escape them. But I really do love my family. Like and even like I hear stories about people, parents, like uh basically like pressing them for playing music too late or DJing too much throughout the day, and I've never had that issue. Like every time I wanted to DJ, like my mom has always been fine with it. Like there's never been that issue where it's like, oh, you stop playing that loud music or go to bed or whatever the case may be. So I really like I appreciate my family for everything they've done for me, and they've supported me throughout this journey tremendously.
So, one question: how old are you exactly?
I'm 18. I graduate this year. I just went to prom.
Oh,
Yeah.
congratulations. So, I guess my other question is, how did you balance going to school and then also being a DJ?
Okay. So when I first started DJing, it was actually during COVID. So online school was literally a joke. Like I say this all the time. Online school was a joke. I would literally wake up in my bed, open up my Chromebook and sign into class with my camera off and just lay in bed and just be there. And then the answers would get sent to me for the assignment that we had. So it was really a joke. Like for the first few years, I really had no school. Like it was just whatever. And then when I started back up in school, it was actually like a big culture shock for me because my high school is really hard. You have to test to get in, and the rigor at my high school is insane. So when I hit ninth grade, that was my first year actually being back in person, and it was just some of the roughest adjustment I had to do in my life. it was just because it was so much work. I would come home and I would have like 4 hours of homework, and I really had no time for DJing except for on the weekends. And I during this time, I still managed to do my Sunday Twitch show, which I am forever grateful for. That has opened so many doors for me. But yeah, it was really rough. I think freshman to sophomore year, I kind of put DJing to the side, and I don't think my career is as good as it could have been if I would have pushed the same way I was when it was COVID. But life happens and you just kind of have to navigate through it the way you should. But I think I should have definitely honed in a little more on DJing so I could have pushed that while I was still young, because it's kind of like a gimmicky kind of way to just push to the top, if that makes sense. It's just like, oh, look at this guy, he's still young, and I'm 18, I'm grown. Like it's like I don't really have that same kind of title, if I do say so myself.
Have you ever felt underestimated because of your age, and how did you handle it?
100%. I've heard about top DJs, resident DJs that have their own events. They talked about me because I was young. Like, I know somebody came to my gig and she was like, oh, well, I was gonna invite so and so, but they said that they don't support young people, and I'm like, what in the world? Like that's crazy. Yeah, how you like what? And mine just is like a huge name. Like when I heard that, I was just like blown away because this is a person who I wanted to do their event for a really long time. Like I admire what they do in their events and their hard work that they put in. So it was just like kind of shocking to hear that, and kind of I was taken aback. I really was. But it was just like, hey, like what you gonna do? Like it's nothing you could do about that. But that was one of the only instances I faced as far as that goes. Like, I think for the most part, a lot of people are kind of more drawn to me because of my age rather than pushed away. Because it's like, I hear that you're young, but it's like, can you actually play? Kind of like, so they come and listen. And a lot of times I hear good reviews, so that's good to hear. But, you know,
I love it. You shut it down.
mhm.
Um, what keeps you grounded when the scene gets competitive or political?
Oh, that's interesting. A lot of times I just try to be myself. I think a lot of people they get too into the businessy side and just drama and politics, and it's just too much. Like you're not gonna go nowhere being too into that. Like you have to just kind of just be yourself. Like none of that matters, to be honest. Like it doesn't matter. Everybody has their own lane. They're all doing their own thing. Like just don't focus on what anybody else has going on. And I think you'll prosper a lot more that way, personally. It's kind of what I've experienced because I feel like at one point I was kind of too caught up with other people were doing, and you got to just get away from that. It's toxic. It really is toxic. It'll consume you like it would. So I don't pay no attention to none of that anymore. Not at all.
If you weren't a DJ, what else do you think you'd be doing right now?
That's interesting. To be honest, playing video games. A lot of kids play video games. I used to be a huge gamer. Like I bought a computer and everything for gaming at one point. And now I don't even turn my computer on. I don't remember the last time I turned my computer on. Like it's been that many like years ago. Like it's insane. But I would definitely be a gamer still. Games are just like they're just fun to do. Like it's just something to just pass time. Like I would literally sit in my room for like 6 hours on end and just play video games. And now I put that time into DJing, and it's a lot better because it's actually lucrative. Like I wasn't making money gaming. Like it was just something fun to do. Just kind of like a waste of time looking back on it. And I see why my mom kind of tried to get me away from that gaming situation because it was just literally it was just a waste of time. Like it wasn't good for nothing. So, but yeah, definitely a gamer. Right now I'm in school for business. My high school has like a career path basically. So it's basically like a college, like a mini college. But so I'll definitely be into business soon. Business for me is basically what I'm doing now. I say, it's all the same thing. It's really called the music business. Like, so I kind of just am sticking on the same track I'm with. So that's how I kind of really know that this is for me, because I can really sense that everything that I'm interested in has always went hand in hand with music. So
So what's next after high school?
college, definitely college. I'm not sure what college I'm going to yet, but I am going to college for business, business management, or marketing, business marketing probably. Um, but I'm not 100% sure what college I'm going to yet. Business is where it's at for me. Like it's just, I just love kind of figuring out what the best steps for somebody's career is. Because that's just huge. That's literally what I do now. Like I'm just always thinking about what my next step should be. How can I push to that next level at all times? So I think it'd be cool to do that for other people as well.
Going back to music, um, what would be your dream venue or festival to play and why?
Mm. Okay, actually, I like Circle. Circle is just it's so like, oh my God. Circle is just a beautiful event, and the way that the whole crowd is like around the DJ,
So
it's
tell
just
people what Circle is and
oh well,
where it is.
Circle is an event. I actually don't know. I think they're in Paris, right? I want to say Paris. Yeah, I want to say they do events in Paris. Black Coffee played on there like Matt so many years ago, and that was actually one of the sets that got me into DJing, from Black Coffee. But he had the crowd, a 360 crowd, and he was like in the middle of the crowd, and everybody there was just enjoying themselves, just dancing, just going in. And to have a 360 crowd just seems like so much fun to me, and I haven't had that experience yet, but it is something I'm definitely looking forward to, and it just seems like an amazing vibe having a whole crowd around you, just being surrounded by good energy. So that's definitely on my bucket list. And also, shout out to DeJune, in Paris. I know that's in Paris for sure. Um, I'm actually cool with the owners and a few people that do events there, but that's one of my dream gigs as well because the dancers just it's just straight dancers. The whole audience is just dancers. They do dance classes before and then they also do a party right after dance class is over. So it's just an amazing vibe just to be able to see the actual dancers just going in the whole time. So that's actually a dream spot of mine. It's a nice intimate venue. It's not like too many people there. It's just perfect. It's really perfect.
Nice. What kind of legacy do you hope to leave in the house music world?
I was just talking about this with my family the other day. So every now and then my family comes over and we kind of just have like good like table talks where we just talk about what we want to do and just kind of just reflect on future life goals and aspirations. But I was basically saying that I wanted to create my own genre almost like kind of push the music forward and have an everlasting legacy to where it's like when I play a song or when you hear a song that somebody else produced, you would think, oh, well, Justin was the first person to produce a song like that. You get what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I'm pushing towards now. I have a few productions in the cut. I don't know if I could say too much about that, but it's definitely, yeah, it's definitely different than what a lot of people are producing. So I'm curious to see how it does when it releases. So
And then 5 years from now, what do you want your DJ career to look like? And what steps are you taking to get there?
5 years from now, I'm definitely want to be traveling. Definitely lots of traveling, be international. I'm still not an international DJ, but that takes a lot of time. I know people who've been in this game for 20 years and they still haven't made that international mark yet. But definitely be an international DJ traveling at least once a month, nothing OD, but uh I do want to hit up places like London. I know London has a huge scene out there. I heard that they don't pay well, but I think it's definitely still worth it to go out there. Everybody looks like they have a good time out there. I do want to go to Toronto as well. I've been building up my Toronto like support base for a nice minute now. Because Dirty Dell on Twitch had actually took me under his wing. He gave me his guest set on his Twitch show, and Dirty Dell is huge out in Toronto. DJ Aristotle, there's so many. Rob the Boom, rest in peace to you. But there's so many that pushed me in Toronto. Judy, who's one of my moderators. But I literally love Toronto. Like I need to go to Toronto. There's been a few things that are in the works for that. I don't know if I can say too much, but I do hope to get out there soon, very, very soon. And when I do, that's gonna be everywhere. Like Toronto is literally like my second family, almost like I love Toronto so much.
Those are the questions I had. Thank you so much for your time today. Yeah, we'll talk soon.
Definitely.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace.